Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Crypto News. And today we have a couple of very interesting things to discuss. One of those things being the fact that we just got ourselves a juicy update on the Ripple v SEC lawsuit. Then again, things have not concluded just quite yet in the lawsuit, and I'm also going to tell you guys exactly what day we are waiting for. Now that we're talking about waiting for things, yeah, there's a crazy event happening to Ethereum. In the very short term, you obviously know about the merge, but there's a couple $1 billion in options that are expiring very soon. We've also got ourselves a very scary announcement, as again, Mt. Gox's release of all those Bitcoins is going to happen within the next couple of days, the next 5 days or so. All the while, the SEC is not really on board of us crypto holders, and people like Mark Cuban are noticing it too. On the other end of things, the crypto market is expanding like crazy, with MasterCard, for example, bundling up with Binance. And then we have our deeper XRP mostly XRP DTCC story, with XRP basically tapping into the crazy derivatives market. Alright, so first of all, things are looking good. Stock market up, Bitcoin up, US dollar index down today. That's not too shabby. It's a good start of the day to watch it like this. I never, but that's not so interesting, We have some juicier stuff to talk about. For example, the fact that Coinbase got another class action lawsuit. There's a guy who claims that Coinbase failed to secure users' accounts against theft and hacks and seek damages upwards of $5 million. Let me tell you guys one thing though, and this is only for my loyal viewers. As you guys know, I'm giving away $10,000 in about 2 weeks. If you want to join, check the link down below for my giveaway, alright? All you have to do is just follow me over on Twitter and you're basically set. You can actually also just check out my YouTube or anything of this sort, but the only thing you have to do is make sure you follow me over on Twitter. Now, what I was actually trying to say was actually this. The moment you put money from your account into an exchange's account, they control it. So even though I use exchanges all the time and I have significant sums of money on exchanges, I know very well that this money can be lost and it's not really their fault, it's my own. I'm giving money to them, and the same thing works so with banks. The moment you deposit something into a bank, they have an IOU. So they basically owe you, let's say, $100,000 if that's what you deposited, but they can just give it to anybody else at the current moment when you deposited it. Whenever these types of lawsuits pop up, I'm always thinking, what judge is going to side with the offense side? How do you say it? Prosecutors or whatever? The complaint people, let's say. Again, guys, not a native English speaker. I really think very often, why would anybody choose their side? As, well, you deposited something, you got your account hacked. Where's that Coinbase's problem? The only thing I can agree with is actually written right here, and that is that people got losses after Coinbase locked them out permanently or for long periods of time. And that one I cannot disagree with. That's a very strange thing if Coinbase has done that. Then again, the most important point here is what I described to you guys about a week ago. This is the year for crypto lawsuits, really. A lot of fundamental stepping stones basically are being set in place. One of the ones, obviously, is this Coinbase one, but Coinbase is actually like a whole dozen of lawsuits right now in the crypto space, which is actually kind of interesting if you think about it. A lot of this is going to do with lending things out as well, which again the SEC is also trying to get after, but I digress. Talking about lawsuits, there was a founder of the Digital Chamber, this specific individual right here, Priyan DC. She a little while ago in a video claimed, hey, if I can get into the Ripple lawsuit, I'll do it, because somebody asked, so when amicus curiae in the SEC v. Ripple case, and she said, there's a formal process to submit briefs, we are following that process, As head of the Digital Chamber, that's kind of what they stand for. As it says here, the Chamber of Digital Commerce is the world's leading blockchain trade association. Now, when taking a look though, digital asset investors shared as well, hey John, does the formal process normally take this long? My BS meter is going through the roof at this point because it was filed almost a year ago. Now, can it take this long? I don't know. Let me know down below. Also guys, if you're enjoying these daily crypto videos, make sure you press that like button and this is actually very important, comment down below what your favorite crypto is. Let's see some battles in the comment section. Whenever I ask this, people just go berserk, just go, no, you shouldn't hold that crypto, you shouldn't hold that one. But it's kind of funny as well. So, the SEC, this is a Ripple lawsuit update, has filed a request to file one omnibus, which is basically a big reply, up to 90 pages in length. Holy smokes. In further support of its motion to exclude the testimony of defendants' expert witnesses. Well, actually, apparently they're arguing that this 90 pages in length is actually not even long. However, when taking a look, Moonlamb was confused as well. Slightly confused, didn't the SEC already propose this at the beginning of July? What's the difference between that SEC request and the new one today? As again, a little while ago, back in July, they requested permission to file a 120-page omnibus motion to exclude or limit the expert testimony of 10 Ripple, Garlinghouse, and Larson experts. So this is like an elaboration. So James says, one is the original request to file an omnibus motion to exclude, and this one is a motion to file an omnibus reply to the original motion. So within the lawsuit, we've seen this a dozen times already, 3 dozen times. You have the original motion. You have a response to that motion, and then you have a reply to this response, and then sometimes you have a surreply to this reply yet again. And so it says, James, one is the original request to file an omnibus motion to exclude yada, yada, yada. And this is a motion to file an omnibus reply to the original motion. It lets the parties just file one big document, each covering everything. Moonlambo says, I see, thank you. It just seems peculiar on the surface because to someone like me without a legal background, it sounded like the SEC was asking to file another huge document on exactly the same subject matter. Are they just looking to add supplementary info on the topic? And James says, it just lets them keep the reply in one document instead of a bunch of smaller ones. So at the end of the day, this is not a crazy lawsuit update or so. But it's still nice to know, I'm trying to interpret this in the best way possible to also portray it back to you guys. Make sure you understand though, guys, I'm not a lawyer. I just try to read whatever these lawyers say and just interpret the data and give it back to you guys. By the way, if you're wondering what the next big date for the Ripple v. SEC lawsuit is, it is going to be September 13th, which is only 3 weeks away or so, right? So basically what's happening is the next phase for the lawsuit is starting at that point. September 13th, you can read it right there. Motions for summary judgment and Rule 56.1 statements of undisputed facts must be filed by September 13th. That's the big day. John Dean has described it. I think Jeremy Hogan or James Filler might have also described it. This is the day when we're going to see a lot of things change, or a lot of gears start to move. So if you're wondering what to look out for, September 13th. In regards to the crypto space expanding, look at this. Mastercard's CEO says they're working with Binance to let more people spend their crypto in more than 90 million stores. You just got to understand that whatever you're seeing in crypto, it's a small part of what's actually going on in here, We're getting the crumbs. Remember that BlackRock is in the background, just secretly letting all these institutions stock up. And on the front, I guess also on the back end, which is what you're not seeing, the front end is what I was trying to say. A lot of the payment rails is also being set in stone. The same thing as sometimes described for you guys with XRP, right? So I have a full story on the DTCC and the connections with XRP tapping into the derivatives market, but I'll actually skip it for later today because I want to take a little bit more time, and this video is already going to be about 15 minutes long. If I add the DTCC story, it'll be at least 32 minutes long or so, so I'm going to skip it for a little bit later. But let me just tell you guys this right here. There's so much happening in the background. The rails are already being set, and they have been set for a very long time. If you take a look at some of these articles, they stay back 2015, for example, 7 years ago, and they are key, but we're only understanding now why they were key, because all these things start to add up and connect to one another. Then again, a couple of central questions are also now finally popping up, like for example, is JP Morgan, a bank's own crypto, the JPM coin, is that a security, or why not, or why would it be? What are the rules on that? Again, the SEC is going on with the lawsuit against Ripple, but the further that they go, the more questions along the road that are being picked up that they kind of don't want to answer, but they become more and more important as time moves on. Now, moving on, if you guys actually know, Quant, this is really one of my favorite cryptos. Even though this right here is a paid release, so I'm not as excited about it. Take a look at the article though. Mastercard cybersecurity executive leaves role for blockchain startup Quant Network. Again, these things start to connect once you really put your mind to it and you start thinking about it. Mastercard has been into crypto for a long time. They know about it. One of the big guys here, cybersecurity executive, left their role over at Mastercard to go ahead and work for Quant. I very often like to just look at what type of, spearheads work at what type of different companies. Again, that was also what this little press release here was about. Former CEO of the DTCC actually joined Ripple's board as an advisor. Not sure if I can actually say they officially joined the board. Let's just say they are now an advisor, or while they have been for the last 7 years. And in the same sense with MasterCard, MasterCard has been in the crypto game for a long time. Potentially, for this individual, it did not go fast enough. Or, as a cybersecurity executive over at MasterCard, they noticed this technology is juicy. I want to stay with that. Again, guys, this part over on Cointelegraph is most likely paid for, but it was already 4 years ago that these little stepping stones were also set in place. Just know, if you bought this crypto the moment that the news came out, how many gains or how much would the gains have been in this little time frame. Just take a look. Quant has released QNT tokens to be used for connectivity and access to the Quant network. Token sale ends on April 30th. It's crazy if you start to think about it, just how much this has grown. And a lot of people knew at this point. The Mastercard cybersecurity executive also knew at this point that Quant was going to be massive. There's a couple other things happening though. So I had a small little story about, for example, the fact that BlackRock, look at what Scaramucci said. People are not paying close enough attention to what BlackRock is doing. If Larry Fink and his team are setting up a product related to Bitcoin that is telling you that there's an institutional demand out there, I think this is a huge thing that has not been expounded upon as much as it should be, right? You kind of then look back and think, maybe the SEC chair and Mark Cuban might also be onto it. Maybe they're literally trying to push back this crypto adoption because they know it'll go too fast. So maybe they've gotten the order, this is just my own thoughts, to say, hey, make sure this crypto adoption goes a little bit slower because the big institutions, they want to jump on in. Either, get the price down as low as possible and keep it there for, while BlackRock, we are making this realm a reality. Or maybe it's in the sense of the U.S. government, maybe, potentially, right, knows the moment that the SEC gives the green light, crypto is going to just pop off in the U.S. and people are going to lose or actually gain some independence. They're going to lose their dependence on, a little bit of the U.S. financial system. And so maybe he's just gotten ordered. Maybe he's a little bit of a puppet and he can't really decide for himself. We do not know. What we do know, though, is that a crazy amount of Ethereum options are expiring soon. Monthly Ethereum options data suggests $2,000 will remain an elusive target. On August 26th, 1.27... What day is it today? Yeah, right? Just to make sure I'm on the schedule. Monthly Ethereum option data suggests $2,000 will remain an elusive target, On August 16th, 1.27 billion in ETH options expire, and data signals that the price is likely to stay pinned under $2,000 until the merge. The merge is going to be a very big event for Ethereum, and a lot of people are betting on it. Apparently, Ether's July monthly options expiry is 1.27 billion, but the actual figure will be lower since bears were overly optimistic after ETH traded below 1600 between August 20th and 22nd. Breaking above that resistance surprised bears because only 70% of the put-sell options for August 26th have been placed above that price level. The 1.18 call to put ratio shows the dominance of 700 million call by open interest against almost $600 million put sell options. Nevertheless, as Ether stands near 1650, most of these bearish bets will become worthless, which is pretty nice. You can kind of see for yourself right here the bulls versus bears theory, or I guess expiry results. Now, if you're wondering, by the way, how much of an effect these things have, it's hard to say, but the same thing kind of goes for these earning releases, which I describe to you guys almost every single week. I keep telling you guys earning releases I watch because they affect the stock market. Then again, the stock market is not really moving in unison to what we expected to come out of these earning calls. And in all reality and in all realness, the actual earning calls here are not from the most interesting companies. We have Zoom in there, which came out, potentially a firm here over on the top right, Dell, but these are not your everyday companies that everybody's just sitting behind their computer for to watch. Maybe this CNFH, I don't even know exactly what they do. You understand what I mean, right? This is not the craziest of companies. Yet for the specifics, for these specific stocks, they definitely do count. And of course, by the way, I kind of forgot to say this at the beginning of the video, the most important thing which is happening tomorrow. And I'll actually make an entire video about this, So what's coming out later today is a video about this. DTCC/Ripple and what's happening tomorrow. All right? What's happening tomorrow? Fed Chair Powell is giving a speech tomorrow, 2 p.m. You can see it right here, 26th of August. And the day afterwards, we have Jackson Hole Economic Symposium. But yeah, he's going to give a speech. Most likely going to get some interesting little thoughts out of this yet again. And so I'd say be prepared for that. Whenever Jerome Powell gives a speech, people go a little bit berserk, people go a little bit crazy. The fact that the stock market is going up still, though, as of this point, is honestly pretty good. It's a nice little foresight, the fact that things have not crashed, meaning that they most likely expect some positive things to come out of that man's mouth tomorrow. Sometimes it's really crazy to me to just realize and think that this man has this much power, that any word that he speaks could just make the entire market worth trillions of dollars just fluctuate like absolutely crazy. Just for him, yes, saying that, just yes, I mean, boom, trillions of dollars get moved. For him saying a couple of freaking letters out of his mouth. Is that not sometimes kind of crazy how the world works in that sense? Generally speaking, however, the August month, and usually kind of September as well, is a little bit more quiet, as of course a lot of holidays and whatnot. And I don't think there's any other decision here, at least not in the central bank calendar, for example, for the FOMC, which is happening in August right here. It's going to be to September 21st that we get another very important announcement in that degree. Also, in terms of inflation, we also have to wait for the 13th of September before we get our next result. And so if you're wondering what the next important dates are for the macroeconomics, those are my most important ones. So tomorrow, a medium to okay day. I'm not so sure exactly what's going to be discussed. I'd have to check it out a little bit further, which is why I'll do another update later today when I have everything divin into, or however you say that. We have another Ripple / connecting the dots type of episode coming up later today as well. If you guys are excited about that, make sure you press the like button, and I'll see you guys again in another crypto video later today.